waka, waka, waka. I'm gonna show you my new book. It's based on Hollywood, right? It's J.J. Villard, Hollywood. The beginning quote is, Hollywood, a sunny place for shady people.
After I graduated from art school, I started painting and started doing shows in galleries. And one day, an editor from Marvel emailed me because he found my work from my website. So I started doing covers for the Marvel Comics X-23, and that's how I got into the comic world.
I was doing storyboards on Shrek 3. I storyboarded the Nightmare sequence, and then also I jumped onto Monsters vs. Aliens, designed most of Dr. Cockroach, and then like a bunch of the other characters, and then off to Shrek 4, where I designed Rumpelstiltskin. I have a day job and I do Adult Swim development at night. And then somehow I squeeze in doing graphic novels, comics, and t-shirts, and fine art shit. I don't sleep.
I love drawing. Like, I drew a lot in high school. Like, a lot. Just running as fast as you can upstairs. Gotta get to that paper! Draw! Like, watch. If you add any bit of liquid to this shit, dude, it bleeds like a motherfucker. Watch. That beer is gonna settle good. It's gonna stink. This drawing is gonna stink, man. My mom signed me up for a life drawing class in 9th grade. My dad paid for it, which was nothing but supportive. And then I was like, wait, I draw good. Maybe I go to art school.
When I was in art school, none of the teachers thought comics was a viable thing to do. I was lucky to have 3 or 4 friends who felt the way I did. We knew that comics were and could be a great thing, and we kind of knew that our teachers were out of touch a little bit.
When I was a little kid, in the very beginning, I wanted to do manga, which is Japanese comic books. You're a kid. You want this fantasy world that you can escape into. I didn't want to come back into the real world. I just want to live in like all the mangas I've read. This art painting thing came later because I moved here and I realized not everyone can be a manga artist. It's actually very hard.
I had an older brother who's 10 or 11 years older than me, and he used to buy every comic that came out. I can remember him coming home with like the Silver Surfer #1 and throwing it on the bed, you know, stuff like that, and then he bought, you know, Undergrounds and stuff like that, and then he moved on to like rock music and girls and stuff, and said, here's my, you know, my stack of comics.
I like Atom Boy and anything from Tezuka. I like the artist that did Rama, and I like Yoshihiro Togashi. He's the one that did Yu Yu Hakusho.
For character designs, I kind of use the comic books, but mostly the comic books are used for like when I'm gonna have to start boarding. Jack Kirby was one of like the first collection of books I had to bring in, right? I mean, his comic book designs and some of his character designs are fucking out of this world, you know? Like, look, I'll take any book, let's open it up to a Jack Kirby page. Look at that. He's got a guy holding the earth. That's a great idea. Everything in cartoons and film and all that has been stolen. I'm just stealing it again and bringing it, making it my own.
So as a kid, I had this amazing, you know, resource. I had like all the early Marvel comics, Fantastic Four #1 and all those, and like really early Mads, you know, like Harvey Kurtzman Mad magazines. This is like before I could read, you know, and I would study these. We didn't have a TV when I was very little, and I would look at these and you know, try to kind of understand the language of storytelling that was going on. And I can remember like doing my own comics, and I couldn't write yet, and I would draw these little pictures and make little chicken scratches in the word balloons. I didn't even really get like they were speaking exactly, I don't think.
Real deal comics are my favorite comics ever made. As far as the art and the humor goes, the shading is immaculate, the character designs are immaculate, the humor of making fun of every race imaginable, the writing itself is just phenomenal. This is my other favorite book. This is fucking G.I. Joe Field Manual. It's corny, it's so corny, but it's so helpful. It's called Space Hawk by Basil Wolverton.
absolutely one of my favorite fucking artists. Mad Comics. He did the greatest cover of all time with this bitch, and she's like doing this crazy ass face. It's the one that inspired Robert Crumb to be the dude he is. So it's just like, fucking hell, you look at this art. It's like, look at this dude. Testicle dudes with little faces.
I think the first comics I ever really connected with on a level that kind of went beyond them being great comics were Robert Crumb's work, like his work from the 70s mostly. He seemed like the kind of person I wanted to be, like a good-hearted person in a certain way, and with a really kind of sick, brutal sense of humor. And I felt like, you know, like he was being honest with me. I didn't feel like he was trying to, like, you know, con me into buying something.
The humans, the female figures, they represent the surface of a person, and the animals behind them, they are symbols of what that exact same character is on the inside. So your internal world is a secret itself to other people. So there's that, it ties into the title, and then also there's the comparison and contrast between femininity and masculinity. And then that one, Imaginary Friend, it's a transparent jellyfish blown up like hundreds of times to get a mood of how fragile somebody's mental, psychological world can be.
I don't know. To me, like, the next gratifying thing would be to have some form of television show or a movie. I mean, sure, I'll like always be a pawn and do storyboards and backgrounds for other shows and things like that. That stuff's cool. But the next big thing that I'd only be really happy about would be to have a television show or a movie feature.
I seem archaic. Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, this is Son of Satan, BG. Yeah, that's some charcoal shit. These are all crazy. I love the smudge marks. Those are my, this finger right here, smudging. I didn't care.
Lawn and down my driveway and into my backyard.
Now stand straight. Hands at your side. We're gonna hold a kangaroo court.
Do you hate people? I don't hate them. I just feel better when they're not around. See, Buck. Bukowski. All right, Bukowski.
Dude, Bukowski's like, it's the truth, man. To me, he sees a lot of beauty. Like, he sees things that I see, you know? I mean, there's a rose in the fucking garden of shit, you know? And that's what he showed me.
I'm working on my 2013 solo show called Vanitas 13 right now.
I have a show. It's coming out on Adult Swim 2014 called King Star King. And I can't believe Adult Swim gave me a show, and I'm sure as hell they're gonna be in disbelief that I can even hand in a show on time. But that is the goal. Discipline of steel. That's why I'm wearing steel teeth.